This is John Sutton, and I'm the Artistic Director, Conductor of the Angelus Chorale. I recently had a few minutes to talk with our Principal Guest Conductor, Donald Neuen, about our upcoming performance of Messiah, December 10th at 7:30, and here's some brief excerpts from that conversation we had together. Tell us a little bit maybe about the chorus that you're working with, the Angelus Chorale.
Oh, they are just such a wonderful group of people, about 120 to 130, and the commitment is, as you know, you're there now 2 concerts a year, and I'm there 1 concert a year as we've worked this out between us. Because I live in Orange County, and it's just too far to come all year long. But there are people that have been in that chorus for 17 years, 20 years, 25 years, 30 years, 37 years.
Yeah, this is our 37th season.
And there were original charter members.
Wow.
And they still sing well, or they wouldn't be in it. And the commitment, the willingness to commit toward the excellence you and I are holding up in front of them every Tuesday night as the torch and the standard of, we say, perfect performance. Every note executed perfectly, in which case anybody will enjoy it who hears it. You know, they go along with that. They're willing to do it. Every Tuesday night, work all day, sometimes miss dinner, and drive through traffic and get here at 7:30 every Tuesday night. It doesn't get better than the Angelus Chorale. And people have said that the Angelus Chorale performs with an excitement greater than anything they've ever heard before. These people who do not get paid.
Wow. Well, this sounds like an exciting concert, not a boring choir concert. You're talking about jazz, you're talking about excitement, you're talking about vitality and a great story in 3 acts and 50-some scenes.
Probably the worst thing in the arts is a boring choir. So you wouldn't want one.
No.
No,
I wouldn't.
No, we would not want one. But the human voice is capable of more than any instrument because it's the only living instrument. It's the only one God made. And so the human voice is capable of color and enthusiasm and vitality and spirit and passion that a dead piano that used to be a tree can't do. Even though the pianist may, and often does, it still can't match what the pianist does with a dead instrument and what a singer does with a living instrument. The potential is just greater, and plus you have words that have meaning.
Yes.
When you hear an instrumental concert, you have to think about something it might connect to. When you hear great singing, you not only hear the art, like an orchestra would give you, but you hear words that if they're of substance, they can go right to your soul and cause you to cry or smile or think about peace or brotherhood or religion or joy or sorrow. Orchestra can't do that.
That's true. Don, how do you prepare to conduct the Messiah? Is it what's your preparation like?
You study till you need Excedrin.
Okay.
Remember when Robert Shaw, again, this famous American choral conductor, professional who died a few years ago, he came to Eastman, and when I was teaching there, we gave him his 40th honorary doctorate, and he conducted a piece, and then he met with my conducting students. You know this story because I've told you. And when he finished talking 2 hours, answering my students' questions, they didn't ask the one I wanted to ask him, which was, how much time do you spend studying, since you're the greatest choral conductor in America, how much time do you spend studying? And he said, every waking hour. Yeah. That's too much. You spend every waking hour, then you don't have enough time for friends and family and community and other things. But he was giving his life to his art, to a nation. So he raised the level of singing in the United States of America like no one else before him. And so he sacrificed his personal life. But that is still the standard, the benchmark for all the rest of them, like you and me and my doctoral students and all the other choral conductors throughout this country, that if someone as genius as Robert Shaw had to spend every waking hour studying, then how many hours maybe, and the formula that's the minimal would be an hour for every minute of music.
Yes.
Like if it's a 3-minute piece, maybe on a Sunday morning or one of these Then you spend three hours studying that before the first rehearsal. Or you don't know enough to stand up there and be the leader of singers or players. So, singers and violinists and trumpeters and pianists and organists, they spend all their hours practicing. Conductors spend all their hours just studying the music to know it and to know how they want it to go. And those two things are enormous challenges. To know everything the guy wrote, and then know more than the composer about how to bring that piece to life for the listeners. That's the conductor's job. Like Stravinsky said when he heard his Symphony of Psalms recorded by Robert Shaw, said, "I had no idea my piece was that beautiful." The guy that wrote it didn't know the potential of his own piece. And composers don't. They are not conductors. They create something that's never been written before. How many notes are there on our scale? 12. The same 12 notes on the piano are repeated 6 or 7 times on the piano. Same note. There are only 12.
Right.
How long have people been writing music? Hundreds of years with those same, and never duplicating a melody, never duplicating a combination. And people that aren't composers can't do it. I try to write a song, I recognize it right away as someone else's. But composers take those 12 notes and write something no one's ever heard before. That's what they do. Then we take that and make it exciting or beautiful or serene or impacting.
I want to go back and ask you something about the Messiah and the composer Handel. Sort of the urban legend of him writing it in 20-some days. And I know he wrote lots of new material, but he also went and pulled back off the shelf some things that he had written earlier. Can you talk a little bit about his combination of new material and the existing material that he had?
He wrote in 21 days, I believe. You and I, as professional musicians, we could not copy it in 21 days.
That's true.
He wouldn't eat. They'd bring him his food, and it's still from the other meal, still there. When he got to the Hallelujah chorus, he came out and said, "I've seen heaven. I've seen heaven." But to write something that enormous in 21 days.
And it's collectively over 3 hours of music. Right?
Yeah, close. 2.5 to 3. He reached back and took some stuff he wrote before once in a while and said, "I think this music I composed 6 months ago for a tenor and soprano duet, secular, will work for this sacred chorus right here. I'll just sort of change it for soprano, alto, tenor, bass, which we have in our choirs, instead of just a soprano and tenor duet." Well, those choruses, they have to sound, that's what I said earlier, just like a quartet. Very transparent and very easy. Where I said then others, he wanted to sound enormous, just enormous, way ahead of its time, into Beethoven and Brahms even sometimes.
Wow.
But yeah, sometimes composers always steal from themselves.
Wow. Anything else you want to tell us about Messiah or this particular performance that you're looking forward to? Saturday, December 10th, 7:30 at the First United Methodist Church on Colorado Avenue in Old Town, Pasadena. Anything you want to tell us about this performance?
Just that it ought to be full of spirit. Both those teachers and some other Bach and Handel teachers that I've studied with say it doesn't matter how big the chorus. Some people think you have to have a little small chorus, a little small orchestra, use old-fashioned period instruments. All wrong. You can if you want to, but they think you have to. All wrong. Those guys right up through into Haydn sometimes had enormous choruses. Sometimes a lot of instrumentalists. So it doesn't matter the size. It matters, is your performance is it in the spirit of Handel? Is it in the spirit of Bach? Which means crisp and jazzy, and don't sing louder than you can sing beautifully. And keep it jazzing and dancing. And except in the slow stuff, of course, then that's supposed to be slow. But not slow and ponderous and dull and boring.
Yeah.
Slow and gorgeous.
Yeah.
You know? And so all that matters is if the conductor understands and knows the spirit of Bach and Handel, knows how to teach that, and then knows how to inspire the people to want to do it.
Great. We are looking forward to this performance,
So am
and I think it's going to be a great one. You always bring something new to the performance, and it does always seem fresh and vital and real and a new telling of the great story of Messiah. So thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you, John.
Look forward
Enjoy
to the concert. Thank you.
Thank you.